Hi, my name is David James and I'm speaking to you for Life the Basic Manual. I wanted to talk about addiction. In the previous video we've looked at the possibility that you may have a problem with your drug or alcohol intake. Most people would term this possibly some kind of addiction. So the meaning of addiction, well, we could go into all the medical descriptions, all the therapy descriptions, but you know what? We can boil it down to a couple of simple things: obsession and compulsion. Before we get into those, I think we need to look at the fact that addiction will make you do things that to other people seem completely irrational. Say you're taking a lot of drugs, so what? Is that your problem? Somebody else's problem? Why are you hassling me about all the drugs that I take? Well, why don't you just stop? Quite simple. It's difficult to stop. That's why we're here. So part of the deal for me is, if somebody said to you, okay, here's this white powder, the first couple of times you start taking it, it's going to make you feel great. But then the other 1,000 times you take it, it's going to make you feel pretty bad. It's going to take your wife, your house, your car, your money, your job, pictures off the wall, your stereo, rugs off the floor, everything. Your self-respect, your honesty, your open-mindedness, your willingness. It's going to take all of these things off of you. Most people would think, hey, I'll stay away from that stuff. Somebody that's addicted to that powder can't stay away from that stuff. And even knowing that it will do all those things to them, they still take it. Now, in people's heads and in professionals' heads, they can't really understand that. But some people have that kind of sabotage type brain that despite knowing all of that, they still seek out those substances, or in some people, behaviours that create that kind of chaos and mayhem in their lives. Why do they keep doing that? Because they've got some kind of addiction to it. Difficult to deal with. In my heart, I can understand it. In my head, I'm going, why are those people doing that? Why do you keep doing that? You know it's damaging you. Why do you keep doing that? So for me, the idea of addiction is kind of summed up in that little story, that little condensed view of people's lives. If you are somebody that can relate to that, or somebody that's in the middle of that, and you know what I'm talking about, you probably need to watch the rest of these videos. The other thing that people talk about relating to addiction is obsession and compulsion. Obsession is that constant worm in your brain saying, I've got to go and get some more of that. How do I get the money to get some more of that? Where do I get some more of that? I've got to do it. And the obsession goes on and on and on until the compulsion kicks in and we actually physically set out to take hold of whatever it is that we want to use. And that compulsion, that watching your body make movement to take a substance that you know is really going to damage you, the compulsion to do that is very strong in an addict and they have no control over it. So a little bit of a description from my sense of what's going on. What I would say also, with somebody that's addicted, they may have made a resolution not to take anything that day. I'm not going to take my particular drug this day. But as soon as they get something inside them that changes the way that they think, all bets are off. So I use the example, somebody may go down to the bar and think, I'm only going to have 3 drinks. They have that first drink, and that first drink affects the way that they think, if they're addicted to it. And they start to think, well, whose idea was it only to have 3 drinks? What a stupid idea that was. So they're off on another bender. Consequence is always the same. So a little bit of a description about addiction. If you think that you may have that kind of personality, some people call it a disease, dis-ease. The disease of addiction is difficult to deal with, and there's people out there as we speak, maybe you're one of them. You know, you're right on the edge of your life, everything's turned bad, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to get out of it. For some people the only way out is death. So I'm going to try and make some more videos, give you some pointers, some basics. This is Life the Basic Manual. I don't want to get complicated. Let's try and keep it simple. Let's try and keep it basic to deal with addiction. Thanks.